friends, it's Jessie here and I am back with another video. In today's video we are going to be talking about the budget for the second week in June. It's my second paycheck of the month and we're going to be going over the budget, how I intend to make my finances work this week. So if you take a look here in my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner, I just got done filming a reconciliation of my budget for week one. You guys will have already seen that here on my channel, but if you missed it, I'll link it down below so you guys can check it out. Definitely do that. I just kind of went over everything that went out for the week and reconciled the budget, showed you guys where I was over budget, where I was under budget, and overall how I did for the week. But now we're focusing on week two. So this is the payday my husband received on June 9th, and we are covering all of the bills and expenses between June 9th and June 15th. However, these bills here that you are seeing that fall during this week actually have already been paid. They've already been taken care of with money from last week, because last week with the payday, I only had one bill that fell in the week, and it just seemed silly to just pay one bill since I had the money to go ahead and get myself a little bit ahead. So I've already taken care of Hulu, Disney Plus, Spectrum, and Boost. That was in last week's budget. So this week, technically I don't have to pay any bills if I don't want to, but I definitely want to continue to stay a little bit ahead. So I'm going to tackle a couple of these bills that are actually not due until next week. We'll just have the money set aside for those as needed, and then we're also going to take care of our expenses for the week. So I have everything kind of written down here, and we're just going to go over it together. So let me zoom you in. Alright, so for groceries, I budgeted $150. It's the same amount that I budgeted last week. I was a little teeny tiny bit over budget last week, but for the most part, I've been pretty consistently spending about $150 a week for my family of four for groceries. So we're going to stick with that. Hopefully we'll not be over budget this week. For gas, I have budgeted $50. Gas prices are all the way back up here in Michigan, so my husband and I drive an F-250 Super Duty. It's a gas guzzler, so we definitely want to have $50 set aside in the budget for gas. That way we can fill the tank should we need to. For household expenses, that's things like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning products, that sort of thing. We always budget $30 a week, and this money actually goes right to our Amazon credit card because we use it to pay for our household items through Amazon Subscribe and Save. We get a big shipment once a month with all of our household items. For miscellaneous this week, I decided to split up miscellaneous between the bills section and the envelopes section. So I like to keep anything that is going to stay in my bank account and get paid through my debit card under bills. So it's not just our typical like energy bill or our rent. It's anything that's essentially getting paid with our bank account. Last week, I was finding that a lot of our miscellaneous expenses required me to swipe my debit card. So having it all in cash, while I can just take the cash and then redeposit it in the bank, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I took the same budget as last week, that $50 that I had set aside for miscellaneous spending, and that's just anything that's not here in my budget, anything kind of extra that comes up. And I just split it up. So 25 of that money will stay in the bank and 25 will pull out in cash. Hopefully that makes sense. That way I'm covered either way, whether I need to swipe the card or pay in cash. We'll see how that works out. It's just something I'm trying this week. Another expense this week is some skincare products that I bought from Amazon. I bought some skincare products for my son. He's been having a few breakouts and things, and so that was about $25-ish. That's what I've budgeted to cover that expense. And then for our actual bills for the week, we're going to go ahead and knock out my truck payment and my camper payment. Both which are not due until the 3rd week in June, but we're going to go ahead and knock those out. So won't be all of the bills from the 3rd week, but we are going to knock out a couple of big ones. We're going to take care of our truck payment and our camper payment. And so our truck payment is $300 and our camper payment is $200. And when you add up all of these expenses, you get a total of $780. So that is our bill total for the week. That money will stay in the bank account and be allocated to all of these expenses. Next we have cash envelopes, and we are going full force back into cash envelopes. We're going to be putting cash in all 4 of the envelopes, which I have not done since March. I'm very excited about it. So these are the categories of spending that we like to have cash on hand for. These are kind of our weekly expenses. This money we anticipate all going out this week. We don't necessarily keep track of it on paper in terms of how much we spend each day. We just have this money set aside in an envelope in my wallet, and we use it as needed, and when it's gone, we stop spending in that category. So my husband gets $60 in spending money this week. We do $40 a week for each of us most of the time. However, when there is a week when he's on call, he works in the plumbing industry and he does take emergency calls over the weekend a couple of times a month. So whenever that rolls around, I always give him an extra $20 just because he's working more hours. He might need to grab himself a sandwich or something on the weekend when he's working. And so having a little bit of extra cash is just nice in those circumstances when he may or may not be home for long periods of time over the weekend. So I budgeted $60 for that. For miscellaneous spending, like I said, we're going to put $25 into a cash envelope. The other $25 we'll keep in the bank, and hopefully that way we're covered under any scenario. For eating out this week, we are going to budget $50. Last week I was pretty far over in this category, but hopefully I can keep it to this $50 this week, and my spending money will be $40 as usual. I don't always take spending money. It just kind of depends on what I have going on, if I anticipate needing it. A lot of times I like to just focus more on our sinking funds or our debt, and I won't take spending money, but as of late I have been taking a little bit every week just cause. So our cash envelope total this week is $175 for the budget. And you guys will see me stuff these cash envelopes at the end of this video. Next category is sinking funds. So these are all of the things that we are currently saving money for. Not all of the categories, but these are the categories that we are funding this week. We have a ton of sinking funds actually, but we don't put money into every single one of our sinking funds every week. We're just focusing on a few at a time. So the sinking funds that we are going to fund this week are Campground. We're going to put $50 away for that. That is, we own a camper, as you guys probably figured out when I talked about our camper payment. It sits on a campsite that has an annual fee. It stays there all year round, and it's a great campsite. It's got a ton of fun activities, and it's really beautiful, and we just love having our camper there so we can go on camping trips every weekend all summer long. But there's of course an annual fee with that campground, and so we put a little bit of money aside every week so that when that bill comes due in October, we have the money to pay for it. So $50 for that. Car tags and maintenance is just what it sounds like. It's the money that we are going to need come January to renew the car tags on our vehicles, and it's also money set aside for maintenance, whether it be oil changes or, you know, anything that comes up, windshield wipers, that sort of thing. If our car breaks down and we need to get it fixed, the money that we will use to get it fixed will come from this envelope. So we're going to put $25 away for that. We're going to also put away $25 for Christmas. We're saving actively for Christmas 2020. We are already over halfway to our goal of $1,000 for our Christmas savings, so very excited about that. And the last sinking fund that we are funding this week is vacation. As I mentioned, lots of camping trips this summer. So we just set aside a little bit of money here and there for, you know, any kind of spending that we need to do while we're doing those camping trips, whether it be extra food that week for the weekend that we're going camping, or if we need propane or firewood or whatever it is, that all goes in our vacation fund. We just had a camping weekend not too long ago where we used up a little bit of that fund, so we're going to replenish a little bit this week with $50. And our sinking fund total for the week is $150. Next up is our debt snowball. So if you have not seen any of my other budget videos, you may not know, my husband and I are on a mission to pay off our consumer debt. We have quite a few credit cards. Some of the credit cards we use and pay off every single month so that we are able to take advantage of those credit card rewards. But we do have a few credit cards with outstanding balances that you know, carry on month to month, and that is what we are actively trying to pay off. We are not against credit cards by any means. We just don't want to be paying interest on them, right? So we're actively trying to pay off those cards. We're using the debt snowball method, and our debt snowball payment for the week is $128. So that is what we are going to pay to our lowest credit card. We make all of the minimum payments on all of our cards that have outstanding balances, and then we pay an extra $128 per week to the lowest credit card on the list, which currently is a Capital One card we're trying to pay down. So $128 will go towards that. And lastly, we have my extra savings category. This is a category of just what it sounds like, extra savings. While our sinking funds here are savings that have a specific goal, a specific purpose, our extra savings are just, you know, like rainy day savings. We can use this money for whatever we want. And I use a fun budgeting printable called Savopoly from mothermeandI.com. It is sort of like a little Monopoly board. Every week I roll a dice, I go around the board, and the property that I land on corresponds with an amount of money to save, and I just save that during the week. And it's a lot of fun. It's better for me than just, you know, arbitrarily saving $20 a week or whatever. It just makes it a little bit more fun to save money. So that is a look at the budget for the week. It's pretty straightforward. I think it's going to be a really good week. Next up, we're going to figure out how much cash we need using the cash envelope breakdown. So I've already written the categories in here. Basically what I do for this cash envelope breakdown is I go through and I look at all of my categories in my budget here, figure out which ones I need to take out in cash. So in our case, that is all of our cash envelopes, our sinking funds, and our extra savings all come in cash. We all save in cash, rather. And then I just write the categories down here, and I figure out which denominations I need to pull out of the bank. That way I can stuff my cash envelopes. So, for example, my husband's spending is $60 this week, and he likes to take that out in 20s, so that will be 3 20s. I figured I would do this little bit on camera, show you guys how this works. I haven't done that in a while. For miscellaneous, we're going to do $25, so that is a 20 and a 5. Eating out is going to get $50. We'll just do a $50 bill for that. But maybe you want 2 20s and a 10. That would be how you would break it down. It just depends on the denominations that you want. For my spending, it's 40s, so we're going to do 2 20s. Campground is going to get a $50 bill. Car tags and maintenance will get a 20 and a 5. Christmas will also get a 20 and a 5, and vacation will get a $50 bill. So then I just counted up. So we have no 1s this week, 3 5s, which is $15, which you guys can't see. Sorry about that. No 10s this week, 3 4 5 6 7 8 20s. That's $160. 3 50s is $150. And no hundreds. So then I like to just pull out one of these. These are from the Budget Mom. They are little teller slips, and they are on a sticky note. So these are super handy to have. And I just transfer this information to here. So we're gonna want 3 5s, 8 20s, and 3 50s. And then I'll just get this added up. So we have 15 plus 160 plus 150 for a total of $325. And then I will just take this right off here. I will then give this to my husband. He works just up the road from the bank, so he will pull this cash out for me. And then when he brings it home, I will be able to sit down and stuff all of my cash envelopes, which is what we're going to do next. So I'm going to get this to my husband, and I will be back in a bit. It'll be directly for you guys, and we'll stuff those cash envelopes. Alright, you guys, so even though it has only been a second for you, it's actually been a couple of days since I filmed the budget portion of this video. It's now Friday, and I need to stuff my cash envelopes. I hadn't had a chance to get to the bank to get the cash, and so, yeah, we're just doing this a little bit later than usual. However, I have my cash, and we're going to get the cash envelopes stuffed. We're going to start out with the envelopes that are actually in my wallet, which are my cash envelopes. This category here, I made these cash envelopes myself, just using some old dividers from an old Happy Planner that I wasn't using, and I laminated them. And these are the cash envelopes that I keep in my wallet. So I have eating out, my spending money, and miscellaneous. I do not keep my husband's money in an envelope. Obviously, I just give that to him, and he sticks that in his wallet. And I've actually already done that. So let's flip this over so we can take a look at the amounts here. My husband's spending for this week was $60. It was 3 20s, and I just handed that to him, and he stuck it in his wallet. So we're going to go ahead and move my planner kind of off to the side here so that I can still reference it, but so that it's not in the shot. And we're going to go ahead and stuff our envelopes. So after my husband's spending money, we have miscellaneous. This is just for anything that is miscellaneous spending, anything that's not in the budget that we find that we need. And I kept half of our miscellaneous budget for the week in our checking account so that if I needed to buy something online, I could. And then the other half I'm going to keep in cash. So we're going to keep $25 in cash. So I'm going to go into my little stack here, pull out a 20 and a 5. And we'll just go ahead and tuck this into my envelope, and this will go back in my wallet and sit there until I find that I need it. So that's miscellaneous. Next we have eating out, and I've actually already filled this envelope as well. We decided to go to KFC for dinner last night, and so I took the $50 to use to pay that, and I just stuck whatever we had left, whatever we got back in change, into my eating out envelope. So I have 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, $14 left. That means we spent, what, $35 at KFC? 50 minus 14, 36. So I had a few coins as well, a couple of quarters I think. Those just went into my wallet. Typically what I do with my change, like actual coins, is I just set it aside in my wallet. I don't really worry about putting it back in the envelope. And then when my wallet gets too heavy and I'm tired of carrying the change around, it goes into a jar. So that's that, just because I hadn't had a chance to film this. You guys didn't get to see the actual 50 go in there, but it went into our bellies. We went to KFC for dinner. Okay, So that takes care of that envelope. And then we have my spending money, which is $40. So we will do 2 20s for that. And that'll just, again, go right back into my wallet. I will spend from this as I see fit. And when the money is gone, I will stop spending in that category. So that is it for my cash envelopes. This is going to go pretty quickly throughout here. Next, we're going to pull in my accordion folder where I keep all of our sinking funds and savings. So let me put these guys back in my wallet. They fit really nicely right down in the pocket of my envelope here. It works out really nice. Or the pocket of my wallet, rather. Okay, so next up we have Campground. If you guys have never seen one of my budget videos before, this is my accordion folder where I keep all of our sinking funds. Everything is marked on a little tab divider in there, each of my funds, and I just keep the money separated by category. And I like this accordion folder because it can stand up on its own. It has a flat bottom, as you guys can see. So we're gonna go ahead and pull out my Campground Fund. I keep the cash in its little divider along with an index card where I keep track of how much money is going in and out. So as you can see, my Campground Fund currently has $250 in it. We are going to add 50 more today. So just a 50. And so the paycheck date is 6/9 plus $50. So that should mean we have $300 now in our Campground Fund. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit. And we'll just count this up and make sure. So we have 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 70. Okay, what the heck? Why do I not have what I think I'm supposed to have here? 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 70. So I'm not really sure what happened here. I don't know if I took money out of this to make change or something and I did something wrong. I'm going to need to go through and try to figure this out, but this is not right. And this is why I count my money every single week, because it would be really easy for money to slip through the cracks if I wasn't constantly keeping track. Usually if I take cash out of an envelope, I will immediately write it down, and that way the numbers on the card always reflect the actual numbers in the fund. But for whatever reason, this is coming up short. So I'm going to make a little note of that. And we'll see as we go along if we can't figure it out. Maybe I put in a 20 instead of a 50. I'm going to go back over my footage here, see if that's what I did. Maybe I put in a 20 instead of a 50. And if that's the case, then I will fix it. But for now, I'm just going to set this aside. I hate when I do that, especially on camera. It makes me feel dumb. Okay, you guys, so I needed to take a break. So while I did, I went ahead and looked over the footage that I had been recording. And you guys, I did add in a 20 instead of a 50. I wasn't paying close enough attention. So I pulled my Campground Fund back out, and we're going to fix this all up. Feel really dumb. I thought about just completely editing that out of my video to make myself look smarter, but you know what? We're just going to be real. So I got rid of that 20, pulled in my $50 bill, which is what I was supposed to have added. And now we're going to count this and see if it's 300. 150, 250, 70, 90, 300. So yeah, it's really important that you don't do what I do. You pay really close attention to what you're doing. But again, that's why I always count the money every time, just to make sure that it's accurate, because I'm human and I make mistakes like that. So, yeah, $300 in my campground fund, that's accurate. So we're gonna go ahead and slip this back behind the campground tab, and we will move on to car tags and maintenance. Sorry, you guys were not in the frame for that, but I added $25 this week to car tags and maintenance, and I used my little calculator because I'm not confident that I can do math, and figured out that I should have $384 in here. So I have my $25, the actual denominations I'm supposed to have. Not gonna make that mistake again. We're gonna slip those in. And we'll go ahead and count this up and make sure I have 384. 100, 200, 300, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Yay! Did it right. No mistakes this time. Alright, this can go back now behind the car tags and maintenance tab. Alright, next up we have Christmas, and I keep Christmas money right here in this pretty little envelope that I got from the Budget Mom. It came as part of the 2020 Savings Challenge course, which I signed up for at the beginning of the year. I haven't actually been following that course for the last couple of months in terms of my monthly savings, but it came with a ton of printables and things, and this was one of them, and it was a really great resource. I highly recommend the Budget Mom. All of her stuff is amazing. So as you can see here, I have $555 in this fund, and we are going to add another $25 today, which should mean we have $580. So I have a 20 and a 5 here, and we will just slip these denominations in where they belong, and we'll go ahead and count this and make sure it's $580. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 20, 40, 60, 70, 75, 80. So we are over halfway to our goal of having $1,000 by November so that we can do our Christmas shopping. Alright, that's going to go back behind our Christmas tab. And lastly, we have vacation. Oh, crap. So while I was doing the cash envelope breakdown with you guys, I left off Savopoly. Boy, this is a total fail this week for the cash envelope stuffing. I totally did not take out cash for Savopoly. I'm supposed to have $22 to put into my Savopoly category, and I just completely left it off the cash envelope breakdown. So I'm going to leave myself a little note here to pull out $22 for Savopoly next time I go to the bank. I cannot believe I did that. What a fail. I don't know what I was thinking. I must have been distracted while I was filming that portion of the video. Alright, so we're going to pull out our vacation envelope, and we are going to add, we have $190 in this account. We're going to add $50 more. And I did that out of frame again. Sorry, you guys. My camera set up a little bit different. So we had $190 in that account. We're going to add 50 more today for a total of $240 in our vacation fund. So I've got a 50, and that is what I have left here in my stack. That's how I know I did all the math right after I goofed that time. And we're going to count this up and make sure it's 240. So 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40. And that is going to do it for my cash envelopes and my sinking fund stuffing, since I neglected to pull out the 22 for Savopoly. Darn it, I can't believe I did that. I need to make sure that I am paying better attention to my budget instead of focusing on what I'm filming. The camera definitely was a distraction this week, I think, but that's alright. Figured it all out in the end. So that is it, you guys, for my week 2 June budget and my cash envelope stuffing. I hope that despite all of my silly mistakes, you enjoyed this video. And if anything, it should show you that we're all human, we all make mistakes. Count your money, make sure that you know you have what you're supposed to have, and know that mistakes happen, but in the end, as long as you are diligent, everything in your budget can work out. So that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please take a minute to give it a thumbs up. Also, I was looking at my analytics for YouTube the other day, and I discovered that the people that are watching my videos, 77% of them are not subscribed. So if you're watching this video right now and you enjoyed it and you like this sort of content, I encourage you, please click the subscribe button. That way you guys can see all of my videos. Not only do I do budget videos, I also do grocery hauls and vlogs and other things like that, lots of lifestyle content. So if you're interested in that at all, make sure that you click the subscribe button. Also, keep in mind I'll be coming back once my week is done and all of this money has gone out, and I will show you guys my budget results. So I will show you if I stuck to the budget, if I was over budget or under budget. People really seem to like that with the first budget in June when I came back and kind of reconciled everything, so I'm going to continue to do that. So if you want to see if I stuck to this budget, you definitely are going to want to subscribe. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!